What's up, my friends? Ooh, it's hot out here in Nashville. Hair's all sweaty. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more in depth on what we talked about last week. Okay. Last week our video was about limiting belief. We were kind of crunched for time, and so I just had a little 10 or 12 minute little clip of sharing some of the limiting beliefs that people struggle with as we traveled through Miami. But I wanted to take time to go a little bit more in depth. I know the name of this video seems crazy. You guys are like, what does that even mean? But I wanted to take some time to go a little bit more in depth on that. We're going to talk about elephants, fleas, and the life of your dreams. I know those things kind of seem all over the map, but I'm going to connect the dots for you. We're going to talk about crushing past garbage thinking and limited beliefs, defining your burning desires, and then building total belief so you can really, truly have, be, and do anything and everything you want from this life. So I'm going to try to slow my pace down a little bit. You guys know I'm high energy and highly effective. So sometimes I get to speed through things. I'm going to try to stay slow so that you guys can hang with me a little bit. But I want to lead with this point. And I've been advised by some of my peers and people that I work with that maybe I should try to add a little bit more of the how in regards to what I'm talking about. But I want to tell you guys something, that this is not for educational purposes. It's not for me to teach you necessarily how to do things, but it's to reveal your ability, intelligence that's already within you, and then get more effective at using it on a daily basis. So what does that mean? I mean, the greatness is already inside of you. You just have to learn how to tame it, how to control it, how to grow it. It's not always about how. You guys will hear me say that a lot. You don't always know how or see how. I could tell you how sometimes, but that doesn't necessarily do it for you. You need to remember why. You need to remember where you're going, the long-term goal. That's what we're going to talk a lot about here, is keeping your eye on the goal and building that burning desire. I love traveling, seeing new places. Even here by myself. I went to Vegas by myself. That was fun. I'm excited to kind of explore around myself a little bit today, because it kind of forces you to create and get outside of your box. Can't just rely on the same old people that you always know and have the same old conversations. You have to be new, creative, fresh. So if you don't ever go anywhere on your own, you should try it. You cannot fathom some of the looks I get with this thing walking around everyday life. People like they want to ask, and they're like super spooked by it. Doesn't I look this way? Looks all bloody. Everybody's like, yeah, it is what it is.
Did you make it to fight?
I did.
Yeah?
About a week ago now. Yeah, it was way worse a couple days ago. But gotta defend the lady sometimes.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do. So, first off, I want to take a little bit of a step back and address the thing that some people will say to me every time I share something, and that's that not everybody is like you, Garrett. Not everybody can do the things that you do, Garrett. Not everybody is as good of a natural communicator as you are, Garrett. Not everybody is as good of a natural salesman as you are, Garrett. Everybody can't talk as well as you can naturally. But I'm here to tell you guys that there is no natural born anything, okay? When your mom went to the hospital and popped you out, you were not born as a doctor or a lawyer or an artist or a salesman or a natural born communicator or any of those things. You were born as a little baby, and you were grown and developed into who you are right now at this moment, this point in time. I mean, I'm a great example of that if you look at my life. I grew up as a fat kid my whole life, and that's because my parents are extremely unhealthy. My parents don't have a desire to maintain a level of fitness, of health and wellness and nutrition that I do now at this point in my life. So I grew up a fat kid, overweight, and you guys saw some of the stuff I talked about it in the previous videos, but I graduated high school at 265 pounds. Okay, at 5'6" and 265 pounds, the name bowling ball was well deserved. Okay, so that gives you guys a perspective on who I was as a kid. Now, if you look at my Instagram, or if you guys have been connected with me for a while, I'm sure none of you like see that, right? A lot of you probably don't even know that if you've just recently been connected with me. You might not even know that I grew up on that backstory. So people say, oh, it's not easy for everybody like it is for you, Garrett. It's not as natural to be fit or to eat healthy like it is for you, Garrett. But it's not. I created those habits. I stepped back and said, I don't want to end up in the same bracket as my parents. Those aren't my goals. I don't want to be overweight and unhappy. So I'm going to change that. And I made decisions. It was all learned. It was all decided. You know, it wasn't because I was born that way, right? And it didn't matter if anybody else believed that I was gonna get to the goal that I said. I said I was gonna lose 100 pounds. I lost it in 5 months, right? It didn't matter if anybody believed I was gonna do it. When I lost 100 pounds, I said, all right, fuck being skinny. I don't like that shit neither. I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. So I started bodybuilding and everybody said, oh yeah, you're not, no way. Like that's hard, you don't need to do it, you don't need to go that hard. And da, 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 da. Well, now look at me. 8, 9 years later, I've done 6 shows. I consistently make sure that I work harder than everybody around me because I decided that that's who I was. I defined my character as the hardest worker in the room. And it didn't matter what anybody else believed. And that's the same thing for entrepreneurship. I faced it in entrepreneurship on a personal level. I know each one of you have faced this to some extent in your life where you're wanting to chase your dreams, you're wanting to jump off the deep end, so to speak. You're wanting to try something new, take a risk, and everybody in your life says, no, you shouldn't do that. You need to be careful. That's not safe. You need to have a safety net. You can't quit your job. How are you gonna make money? How are you gonna survive? How are you gonna pay your bills? How? No one asks you why you're doing what you're doing. Why? What is motivating you? What is pushing you? Why do you want to do this? If people ask you why more and focus more on your burning desire, then maybe you wouldn't feel like a failure all the time because you're playing by other people's rules. You can't limit yourself by other people's rules or other people's beliefs, right? That's what we talked about last week. When you limit yourself, your own future by what other people believe is possible or what you believe is possible, you're capping yourself.
What's up, guys? Just gonna hop on.
Real fast.
Just real quick. Just wanna,
I'm out here sweating.
hop on.
Lucky dog, barked and brew.
This is our spot. We don't go to the bar anymore. We go to the dog bar.
Right, we hang out here.
One thing that, to be transparent, you guys know me, I can't be anything but transparent. One thing we struggle with in our relationship, sometimes is communication, okay? I am a talker, as you may know. I do a lot of the talking here in every situation. I've been selling shit and managing people since I was, 18 years old. So it's very easy for me to, at this point in life, sit down and have a conversation about things. I also—
Not even that, but like share how you feel too.
Yeah.
I've never met someone who is very just upfront with the way that you feel. Like that's fucking hard to say the way that you're feeling in the moment. And he's like, you know what? That hurt my feelings and I don't like it. You need to change it. Please. It takes me like 4 days to be like, you know what? I feel a little upset.
Yeah. And that's true. And she always says this to me. Not everybody is a natural communicator like you are, Garrett. I'm not a natural talker like you are. And I never have that. I cut it out at that point because I'm not a natural communicator. I learned how to communicate and talk and share the way that I feel because of my mother, right? My mom, and she knows this, is the, let's say, lighthouse for me, right? She taught me how to grow and develop as a leader, how to manage people, how to share my feelings. She is the reason why I have no limiting beliefs. Before I learned all this manifestation tactics, before I went through all this study, before I had any level of success, you can attribute to this. Since I was a young kid, my mom never, ever questioned that I was going to reach any and every goal I ever set out for myself. She never set any limitations on what I could have, or for my brother. My brother limited himself, as being very ADD, and it's something that I'm—
Me and Justin are very similar in that
right?
way.
Well, absolutely, and that's
Not
something
ADD, but just like
that I was going to talk about, a little bit further down the line, but I'll pull up here is the indigo child thing, right? And we talked a little bit about that. Had somebody tell me recently, man, you are an indigo child. Do you know what that is? And I'm like, nope, no idea what that is. This is in LA, right? So you got to think about being in Los Angeles, California, right? And not only being in Los Angeles, California, but like in the cannabis space where you're dealing with a bunch of stoners, right? And so if that sets the scene for you, I meet my honestly good friend, Mo Spawn. I don't want to attribute him as like some stoner. He's a good dude. But like, we all smoke weed a lot, right? And so he's like, you're an indigo child. Like, you're the most powerful indigo child I've ever seen, bro. Like, you walked in the room and I felt the energy change. It was crazy.
But
And
not
he's
to like discredit what he's saying too. Like, it sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, literally, anywhere we go, people feel Garrett's energy.
Dude's like,
It's a real thing. Like,
dude was like, if you
It's a real
trained and practiced, he's like, I bet you could shoot sparks from your
Yeah.
fingertips. And I told her all that, and she's like, oh, you should research that. So you should do more research and see what that means. And so I'm like, okay, of course. So I jump online and research it. Well, really what it is a way to explain ADHD and ADD. So instead of saying you're hyperactive, you can't pay attention, you have an attention deficit disorder, being an indigo child makes it a positive light. It gives you a positive energy. It says, hey, you have higher vibrational energy than other kids around you, and it's valuable for you. And that allows those kids to break free of those limiting beliefs.
right.
Which is why my
It's a
brother
positive instead of a
and
negative.
Lauren they struggled in school not because they weren't smart enough, but because at some point in time they were made to believe that they weren't smart enough. But my brother was no different than me, right? I was not any smarter naturally than he was. I'm ADHD as fuck, hyperactive and keep moving all the time. He's ADD, right? And couldn't pay attention to anything. But we were no different in intelligence. The difference was I never questioned nobody ever made me feel stupid because I got good grades off the jump. You didn't get good grades off the jump, so you were made to feel like you weren't smart at a young age. And that defined who she became.
Tutoring, and like, at a young age, I had to be tutored. I never understood why all my friends were doing phenomenal, passing all their, I had to cheat in 3rd, 4th grade to pass the EOGs. I literally cheated because I could not do it on my own. I couldn't pass it on my own.
And that created a belief that she was dumb that I still have to break her out of to this day. She'll say things about herself and I'm like, you're not stupid, you're not dumb, don't do that, don't say that. Because it's been so conditioned to limit yourself with that belief. Okay, so the limiting beliefs to lead into the first point, the first title, or the title of the video I should say, Elephants, Fleas, and Life of Your Dreams. Let's start with Fleas, that's the one I wanted to lead with.
I love this story.
You love this story? So if you know anything about fleas, we have two dogs, so sometimes we encounter that. Recently, Crane, playing in the woods, had some fleas. And there's a story shared by Zig Ziglar, who is a mentor of mine. I've read many of his books, listened to him talk for hours. If he's not a mentor of yours, you should jump on YouTube and make him one. He tells a story about fleas, okay? And fleas and limiting belief. Sorry, I keep playing with my hair. I'm full on sweating.
It's so hot.
Woo! We're gonna fight through it, okay? So,
It's like dripping down my shirt.
so fleas and limiting beliefs, okay? If you take a flea and you set the flea on this table right here, there's no limitation to how high it could jump, okay? 3, 4, 5
Everyone
feet.
knows how high a flea can
Right?
jump.
A flea can jump, it has no weight, it has no limitation, okay? Now, if you take that same flea and you put it in a mason jar, okay, and you put the cap on the mason jar, the flea is gonna jump, and it's gonna hit its head. Then it's gonna be like, all right, okay, it's gonna jump again, hit its head again, okay? Well, after 5 or 6 times of hitting its head and falling back down, the flea's gonna realize, I can't jump that high. And the flea is gonna jump to just short of the top of the lid. Now, after just a little bit of time, you can take that lid off of the mason jar and the flea will still jump to just short of where the lid was at.
Doesn't want to hit his head.
Doesn't want to hit his head, right? Duh. What does that mean? Okay, so that sounds like, okay, well, that sounds good. What that means is this flea has limited itself with this belief. It believes it can't go any further, so it's not even gonna try. How crazy is that to think about, right?
It's a true story, though. Like,
It's
if you do this, it'll actually happen.
It sounds stupid, right? It sounds dumb to think like that, but like we as human beings do this on a daily basis. We limit how high we can go by placing a ceiling that's not there. To take that one a step further, elephants, okay? So you want to talk about another limiting belief. So you got the one of the smallest creatures that you can think of, right? A flea. Let's think about a big one. Elephants, right? Elephants can't possibly have limiting beliefs. Okay, so let's think about a circus. I know in today's world, and how we treat animals, all these things are way different, right? But way back in the day, okay, they're gonna train an elephant. They start with a baby elephant, okay, and they chain it with a thick chain to a heavy metal spike in the ground, concrete buried in the ground. No matter how hard this elephant pulls and yanks and tugs, it can't break free from this chain. After a little bit of time, the elephant's gonna stop pulling. Like anything else, it gets beaten down. It doesn't believe that it can pull anymore. Eventually, this elephant grows into this massive creature, right? One of the most powerful animals you can imagine. You can throw a little lead rope like a horse. You can throw a horse, is the same, great example actually. Throw a little lead rope around it. They're way more powerful than I am. I can tie the elephant to a chair, plastic chair, a plastic spike in the ground. The elephant could crush it with one single swing. It will never pull against it. Because
Doesn't believe that it can.
It has conditioned itself to believe it can't break free, so it shouldn't pull against it. Why should I try? I can't break through. I won't break free. Why should I start a business? I won't make a lot of money. I'm not smart enough to do that. Why should I try to lose weight? I don't even know how to do it. I don't know what to eat. I don't know what to do in the gym. I don't know how to sell things. I'm not good at marketing. Why should I try?
I don't have good communication skills. I never will, so why do I try?
Why should I try?
It's true.
Because what if you try and you find out you can crush the fucking chains that are holding you back? I hope you guys know that I am no different to her than I am to any one of you on YouTube or Instagram or anybody else in my life. I hold her to the same level of accountability that I hold myself to because I believe.
You're damn right.
And it doesn't make our relationship easy. It's not. I'm not an easy person to be with because I demand greatness from myself and all of those that spend time around me. But you know what? Her limiting beliefs have been crushed over and over again since we started dating.
Yeah,
And she has, and every time she finds a new limiting belief, we find a new way to crush it, right? You know, COVID hits and she obviously can't do her modeling stuff and acting the same way that she's been doing it for her whole career. So she's like worrying about what she's gonna do for money. So what do we do?
Not even that, but like everything that I am, everything that I have worked for has been taken away from me. I don't know who I am anymore without working and modeling and acting. I don't have anything going for me, so.
And she absolutely hates to think that she's financially dependent on me. So like she's like stressing herself out and like worrying about how she's gonna make money and limiting herself with the current situation because she's focused on what she has right now with the ceiling that she feels like she's hitting right now.
Yeah.
And since then, we have launched this agency, scaled the money that we make online, scaled the money that we make in the cannabis space. She's got new affiliate marketing relationships on social media and other agencies in different states.
I've done more than I have before ever, honestly.
She has found a desire to push through and break through because she got rid of the limiting beliefs. And to take that a step further, this is kind of where we talked about last week, but those limiting beliefs, they have a source, okay? And so one thing that we both struggle with is our backgrounds, okay? I don't necessarily want to have the communication tactics that my father had, right? And she has some past communication tactics that she doesn't want to have anymore, right? So we have both had to learn from our past and learn to transition that.
And it's not easy. It is so hard. It is literally the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Right. And if you limit yourself, and this is kind of what we talked about at the beginning of this video with how am I gonna do it? I don't know how to do that. She tells me that sometimes. I don't know how to tell you how I feel. In that time, I don't know how to think about it and share it with you. But like when you
Not even to think like surface level thinking of the situation, but like to go deeper and think of like, how does he feel about this? Before, how do I feel about it?
Yeah.
It's not about how I feel. It's how he feels first, and then I have to.
Yeah, and sometimes when you
not
focus
easy.
on the how of it, it's right, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
So you have to be able to remind yourself why. Like you're right, I might have this background of all these things that led me to this point where I'm not good at this, but I want to change it because of this reason. I want to focus on what we're doing because of this reason. So to bring it to another story, okay, we're from the South here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So imagine, let's say 50, 60, 70 years ago, I'm
You're like sprinkling.
pouring. Woo! That's terrible. I'm about to say, we got to rotate because I'm not going to be able to finish. Woo! Okay, so,
No.
all right.
This is a new one for me.
You've heard it. I know you've heard it. So, they're a small southern town. They're wanting to build a big, fancy mall, okay? But they don't have much land that is worthwhile. They're like looking around the map. They don't know where they want to put it. There's one plot of land that would be a great location, but it's been a trash dump for 200 years. As long as people have lived in this town, right? It's been a trash dump. Okay, now you hanging with me? So they're like, all right, well, we can't put it there. Well, there's a handful of guys who are like, well, you know what? If we work on this a little bit, we can make this will be the spot, right? And so they lay some leveling dirt, and they level the ground. They start to plant some grass seed, plant some trees. Well, after a little bit of time, they're like, okay, this is where we need to put the mall. Well, now today, when you go into that mall and you buy your fancy clothes or your fancy shoes, you never once think about the garbage dump that it used to be, right? You don't know what the mall, we grew up in Winston, Haynes Mall. What was there before? We don't know. Maybe a garbage dump. Yeah, right. We don't know. Point is in saying is that no matter how garbage or trash your thoughts have been to this point in life, no matter how your parents or your teachers or your siblings or your friends have conditioned you to believe about yourself or feel about yourself, no matter the experiences that you have up until this point, you can lay some leveling dirt and build whatever you want to build moving forward in this life.
Change it entirely.
Overnight. You don't even need to wait to plant grass seed and for trees to grow. You can level your mind overnight and change where you grow to. How great is that? And yet we
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That is so brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that people don't
think of.
They don't
Or,
give
like,
themselves credit for. It's not about not
believe
thinking
that
of.
they can.
It's that they're conditioned. Exactly. They're conditioned to believe that they can.
Yeah.
So part of the reason why they're conditioned to believe that way is because they think, because of probably most often because of other people in their life, that it takes some extraordinary person to succeed. They have this natural drive or natural motivation. There's no natural anything. So when I grew up as a fat kid, that's not who I am now. I laid some leveling dirt and I decided that I was going to change that. And I didn't have to be some extraordinarily gifted person to do it. I made a decision to change, and I changed in that moment. And from that point forward, I was no longer a landfill. I knew where I was going to. And that requires you to define where you're going to. You have to have a burning desire for that. So I always correlate, whenever I mentor anybody, I correlate that to fitness in my life, okay? So I had a burning desire. So two words you hear me say a lot. Had a burning desire to obtain this goal, to attain the physique that I was looking for. And it didn't matter if anybody else believed. I knew where I was gonna go. I would look in the mirror and I saw myself for what I was gonna grow into instead of what I was right now. I would look and think, wow, my lats one day are gonna look like this. My shoulders are one day gonna look like that. I would look at other guys on Instagram. I'm like, that's how I'm gonna look one day. I would screenshot it. Like, this is how my physique is gonna look. I saw myself for what I was gonna become. You gotta have the burning desire, okay? So I wanted to have that goal, that physique, that goal that I was chasing. I wanted it so bad. I wanted it as bad as I wanted to breathe, as Eric Thomas says. There's nothing I wanted more. I was obsessed. I had a burning desire, okay? And so the next part of that is to take action on that burning desire, okay? So for the fitness, it's easy to see. The action is jumping on the treadmill, eating a little bit cleaner, right? But when it comes down to whatever it is your goals are right now as regards to entrepreneurship or modeling or relationships, whatever it is, it might not be so clear cut. Yeah, she knows that. She can attest to the fact that it's not as clear cut. So what you need to be able to do is take action in the moment. So define what it is to take action in your goals right now. And that's something that we talk about. She always like, I don't know how to do that. I say, that's fine. What can you do? Let's focus on the next right thing, like Anna said, right? You like that one?
That's a Frozen reference.
Frozen 2. Give me some credit.
Do the next right
I have
thing.
been waiting to plug Anna since we were sitting in the movie theater with Kaylee Grace.
That was a while ago.
I took notes on my phone. I pulled my phone out. I said, do the next right thing.
Pulled out his phone. I knew it too. Whenever she was singing this song, it was like, Garrett's about to pull
Garrett's
it
gonna
onto
talk
this
some
shit.
shit about this
He
or
like pulls out
something.
his phone. The next right thing, Anna, Frozen.
That's the key, though. You don't know how. You don't always know long term what the next 10 steps down is. But if you can find the next right step, then that can get you to the goal.
Yeah.
You have a burning desire to get there. You can
Great
focus on the next
lesson.
right step. You take action. Okay. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till everything's right. Everything's not going to be right. When you take action, you build belief. You create reality. You make it attainable for yourself. Okay. That's the same thing with fitness. As she started to push herself more in the gym, she realizes how much she doesn't hate to work out like she used to think she worked out in regards to like lifting weights and like training like that. When we first started dating, she was totally against it. She broke out of those.
No, it's not just me. It's literally every single girl. I don't want to get bulky. That was my thing. I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to look too big or too muscular or like, you know what I mean?
Right. And
it's lifting weights is key. It
Yeah.
truly fucking is. It really is.
And that can
My
show
body
you.
has changed 1000%. So I stopped fucking an hour of cardio and started lifting weights a little bit, and my body changed completely.
And I love that you are here to say
It's
that.
so true. It really is. Y'all stop doing all the freaking cardio. It's not worth it. I know.
That's a great point, and absolutely stop killing yourself with cardio. But the real point in there is, as soon as she got rid of her limiting beliefs and started listening to the right voices, she got the result that she wanted to get. That's
Yeah.
to sum up everything that I've been babbling about for the past 20 minutes. That's exactly it.
My
Okay?
body is what I have saved on Pinterest for what I've wanted to look like. That's what I am. Because of like, Garrett's like, no, like lift, I'm telling you, lift some weights and you'll change. It's true. Stop so much cardio and lift some weights and you'll change. It's true. You just
So,
gotta listen.
Let me correlate this story. Sorry, let me not mess up your hair. Sweaty arm all over you. So let me correlate Lauren's little story to everything we just talked about to wrap up this video. What do you think?
Yes.
So she had believed, courtesy of, honestly, probably her sister and her mom and other women in her life in the past, that lifting weights makes you bulky. Women believe that.
Yeah.
As a gym guy, I can tell you that. So coming into a relationship, she did that. In the past, she dated somebody else who was a personal trainer, and he like had her do some weight training stuff that was more suited probably for him than her,
I did get bulky.
and she got bulky. She listened to the wrong voices, and she got bulky. So coming into our relationship, she had a limiting belief in regards to fitness, and I thank you. I'm so glad that you're here for this because you just made this all make sense. She had a limiting belief in regard to fitness. That's what she does my whole life, make it all make sense. So then she decides to lay some leveling dirt in regards to the garbage thinking that she's had with fitness in mind, okay? She listens to me, decides to take the right voices in mind, and not just me, she started to at least be open-minded because of me, but then do her research into other people online and see what it can really be. So she laid the leveling dirt and started to build upwards from there. And right now, you're what, 7 pounds lighter than when we started
I'm
dating?
120 pounds right now.
7 pounds lighter than when we started dating at least.
Yeah,
When you were
never.
dating your ex, you were probably what, 130 something, 132.
Yeah.
She's 10, 12 pounds lighter, training, lifting weights heavy, eating more food. We eat whatever
Eating
we want.
way more. I eat whatever I want to.
No limitation, out here drinking. Look, we get to drink and have fun and enjoy our life because she chose to break through of her limiting beliefs, and now she can create whatever she wants with her body, with her physique, with her reality. And that is perfect example of everything that we're talking about here. So, that being said, I'm gonna stop talking for now because I could do that forever. I know it's not easy, guys. Stay with it. Stay consistent with it. You're gonna try. You're gonna fail. Keep trying. Try again. Fail again. You know that. We know that. It takes over and over effort to get there. We're gonna continue to share everything that we can to get you guys there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to us on any platform. Either one of us, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat. I don't care. If you can do it on your cell phone.
MySpace.
Email me. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Let's talk. We want to connect with like-minded people. We want to help other people grow in life. So if that's any of you guys and you want to, make some content together or stay connected anyway, please comment, like, share. Let us know that it vibrated with you guys, and then we'll keep rocking with it. But I got to get out of the sun before I melt. So until next time, we're out. just in case you thought I was lying, I want you guys to see it again. Got a swoosh. Don't skip leg day.
What's that?
Oh.